What up? What up? What's poppin'? I see you guys, or one of you guys calling me out for being late. My bad. My bad. All right. I don't got no excuse. Well, my excuse would be that I was rewatching the Giorgio versus Arman match before I went live just to make sure I didn't miss any details. And it was a good thing I watched it. But, shout out to everybody tuning in. Shout out to all the returning viewers. Shout out to all the new viewers. Run up the likes on the stream and subscribe if you're not subscribed. But this is the story for the day, boys. And we got, we'll be speaking about UFC Mexico too a little bit, but this is the main story for the day. A brawl breaks out between Arman Tsarukyan and Georgio Poullas and their teams after their chippy ass match at RAF06. And you know what I mean? I called this. So we're going to be looking into this right now, but Arman essentially starts decking homie in the face, kneeing him. That's the freeze frame you see right here, a knee. Punches him and knees him immediately after regulation ends. Now, Arman did win this match 5-3. But it is worth mentioning Arman was not awarded a push-out point for when Giorgio took down Arman. Giorgio ended up getting, or how do I say this? Giorgio ended up falling out of bounds trying to turn Arman after he secured the takedown. UWW, United World Wrestling, just updated their rules. If you are there's no grounded opponent to where like it doesn't matter if you go out of bounds, whether you're grounded, whether you're standing up, if you fall out of bounds, it's a point for the other guy. So that they missed a point there for Arman. And also the mat referee gave Arman 2 points for a takedown. However, I do not count that as a takedown because Arman's feet were completely out of bounds by the time Giorgio got taken down. In fact, Arman leaped out of bounds to secure it. So what is that? That's simply a push out. So that one actually was fine, but that was a mishap too, where the mat referee he signaled 2 points. And then Arman only was awarded 1 point by the judges' table. So the judges' table made the right call there, but the judges' table missed the call when it came to awarding an extra point for Arman when Giorgio fell out of bounds trying to turn him. So, with that being said, I believe the correct score should have been 6-3 Arman. It actually should have been 6-3. But, that's the game. So, regardless, I think Arman won fair and square. I know there's a lot of this stuff about stalling and whatnot. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch the match again to kind of like dive back into that. To be honest, when I was rewatching the match the second time, I didn't pay attention to like those first few points that were awarded. Shout out to Tux. Just stopping me mid-sentence because Tux, he sent in a second dono just so that I would reread his first one. Shout out to Tux. Thank you for the $2 donos, homie. Giorgio got punked. LOLW Armin. It's Arman. But shout out to Tuxedo Mask. Missed my dono. I got you, homie. I got you. RAF is gay. Damn, Jew. Really? Does Giorgio ever plan on actually fighting? Well, if you watched the Giorgio interview, Jew, you would know the answer to that. Yes, he does plan on fighting. He actually got his MMA debut. I don't know if it's amateur or pro, but Giorgio got his MMA debut booked for March 7th. So literally 7th or the 14th. But honestly, I think it's booked for the 7th. Misfits in London. So Giorgio got a fight coming up against Over T Flow. Or Overt Flow, I don't know his damn name. And then, telling me be nice to Giorgio. I like Giorgio. I don't got nothing against Giorgio. You guys don't even got to tell me to be nice. I like Giorgio. So ain't nothing wrong with Giorgio in my book. So that's a preface of this whole story. We're going to get into it. And this is mainly going to be what we talk about today. But I will just bring up that Brandon Moreno, he lost. He lost last night to Loner Kavanagh. Now, America First, I did see your chat. Hoping America First is still in here. But America First, he been on my ass ever since Brandon Moreno lost. Rubbing it in left and right. Not cool, homie. I'm playing. But I'm trying to pull up a little graphic of Brandon Moreno losing last night. And actually, this is the graphic right here. Look at Brandon dancing, bro. Brandon would have happily let these judges rob Loner in his hometown last night. Look at Brandon totally relying on the judges to just gift him this in his hometown. You could tell he was relying on it. Although, at least he didn't act super surprised when it was read out that, Loner Kavanagh won. But look at Brandon trying to... He was hoping he was gifted a decision in his hometown, let's be honest. Look at him. Dancing. He raised his hand after the fight, too. It's politicking. But I don't want to hear nothing. Brandon lost that fight completely. And honestly, just stay tuned for this, but Brandon Moreno is done, man. I could shed a tear for fucking Brandon Moreno right now, but homie's done. Tuxedo, did Arman score a takedown? Well, that's a great question. So let's go back to the main topic of the day. But my twin, Brandon Moreno, he's done. He just dropped his second straight fight. Please don't be his third straight fight that he just dropped. Let's confirm this real quick. Second straight. He had a nice little comeback. Amir Albazi win. Steve Erceg after the loss to Brandon Royval, which I did think he won that fight. But at this point in time, dang, only 32. But you run those quadrilogies and shit. I mean, long career. Fighter's age in dog years. Tuxedo, though. Going back to Tuxedo's dono, thank you again for the $2 dono, homie. Much appreciated. But Tuxedo asking me, did Arman score a takedown? Well, did he or did he not? Let's do a poll, shall we? First of all, let's start with, did Arman secure a takedown? Did Arman take down Georgio? Takedown. Push out. Now, sorry to ruin it for you guys if you guys are going to be going with my opinion. But yeah, that's a straight push out. Let's watch it. Let's review the tape. Where are my headphones at? Let's watch it. Let's review the tape. We got both takedowns here, actually. We got both takedowns.
But kept on fighting, refused to quit, and won tons of respect from the fans of the process.
See what I mean, though? Every time I plug in my headphones, it like unmutes or something. So I'm just trying to fix this real quick. My bad. Oh, and you know what? I just gotta say this. I mean, shit, I'm gonna be all over the place at this point. I got so many things I want to say at this moment in time. But okay, let me I feel bad sometimes when I'm just so all over the place. So let me go like this. I'm gonna show Tuxedo Mask the takedown from Arman, which was actually a push out. And then I'm going to speak on something unrelated to this, but related to the channel. And then we're going to break down the Georgio versus Arman match from beginning to end. And then we'll get into some other topics. So that's what the rundown is for the next like hour probably. So first and foremost, let's watch this. A lot of people saying his foot was in. What are you guys talking about? His foot was in. A lot of people say he had a foot in. Okay. Georgio got a toe on the mat at this point. Okay. Georgio basically out of bounds. He's about to be. Now Georgio out of bounds, so is Arman. So is Arman. So I don't get even, this really isn't even a debate. There's no takedown here. And if anyone is having a hard time understanding it, let's put it like this. Your toes, if you're Arman, they need to be in bounds. Whether it's 1 foot or 2 feet, I honestly don't know. I'll keep it a buck. I honestly don't know. But you need at least 1 foot in bounds when you secure the takedown. You see this all the time when you watch freestyle. They take the opponent down, but they gotta keep the feet in bounds. I guess none of you guys who disagree with me right now watch freestyle wrestling. Because if you watch freestyle, you would know this. You know, there's a push out when you push your opponent out of bounds. Now, if your opponent goes out of bounds, then the point is awarded. Now, if you leap out of bounds with him and finish off the takedown, there's no takedown. It's just simply a push out and you wasted extra energy. And if you wanted a takedown, you would have kept your feet inside that line. Same as the NFL, right? Can a wide receiver just leap out of bounds and catch a ball and it's a complete pass? Or does a wide receiver have to keep his feet in bounds to secure the pass? And just to acknowledge another super chat from Tuxedo, thank you again for the $2 dono, homie. Tuxedo's running the show tonight because Tuxedo got all the donos. So shout out to Tux. How do I say this? Yeah, like if you're in the NFL and you just catch the ball out of bounds, that's not necessarily a complete pass. Your feet need to be in bounds. So I see a lot of people saying like, oh, but this is a takedown. I mean, in the streets, it's a takedown. In the streets, it's a takedown. In the $1,000 Take Me Down challenge, yes, Georgio got taken down. In freestyle wrestling rules, I mean, there's just no takedown. And the mat referee made a mistake by awarding the 2. That just is what it is. In freestyle wrestling, per the rules said this is no takedown. In the streets, on the $1,000 Take Me Down challenge, it's a takedown. What's poppin' Auto? What's poppin' AD? You are wrong. Okay. So yeah, this is the whole debate right here about this takedown scenario. But I mean, I don't know. Whoever's saying it's a takedown, fuck if his foot was in bounds, well then say that when it comes to the NFL too. You know, say that when it comes to the NFL too. Like, what do you want me to say about it? And then here's Georgio's takedown on Arman. Saying Georgio's advocate. Actually, how about this? Since I don't know, I guess people will think I'm biased towards Georgio, but you know, Georgio, he deserved to get punched in the face. And that's not me trying to appease the chat or anything like that, but, you know, saying Georgio's advocate, blah, blah, blah. Georgio deserved to get punched in the face. Georgio straight palmed Arman to the face. We got it on footage. Georgio palming Arman to the face, bro. Making Arman crash the fuck out. And if you're going to palm him to the face, then, I mean, you deserve the punch in the face. Now, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, I would say, because honestly, up until the slap that Arman executed first, I don't really think Georgio had any penalties whatsoever, to be honest with you. The penalties started coming after Arman slapped Georgio. Then Georgio started playing dirty right back, which Georgio warned he would do in our exclusive pre-match interview. He warned he would do that. The quote is, if he wants to slap me, I'm going to punch him in the face. Now, he didn't punch him in the face, and that's a great decision on his behalf. But, yeah, Georgio started playing dirty as soon as Arman played dirty. But, you know, Arman slaps him. You palm him in the face. What do you expect to happen? So maybe he didn't deserve it, but he shouldn't be surprised that it happened, right? You fuck around, you find out. That's the famous saying from Arman after the match. So without further ado, let's run the tape. Let's start running the tape on this. Tuxedo says, can I pay you to change your opinion? No. I cannot be bought or sold. Okay, so Jew says, okay, fair enough. As long as we can acknowledge his whole little can't be took down is over. I mean, technically in the streets, he got taken down. For a fact. Bro, it's humid in my house, but I'm too lazy to get up and turn on the AC. It's because I just showered. You a straight Georgio fangirl, says Tuxedo Mask. Thank you for the $2 dono. What do you think Dana will do? Keep Arman further from the belt? No. I don't think that's going to be the case. Arman is arrogant if he doesn't get his way and he couldn't dominate the match. Okay, I need to turn on this AC. All right. Bro, I shower, I steam up the whole house, and then I shut the doors immediately to run the stream. So, like, this shit gets all hot and steamy in this bitch. Okay, let's run the tape. Let's run the footage. Let's get the breakdown going. So here's post-match. Here's where the brawl kicks off. You know, after a very, very chippy match, this is where the brawl kicks off. Oh. That's Georgio's dad who just ran over and fell down on Arman. That's Georgio's dad. You can see Arman's team punch and do it in the face because this dude, I think from Georgio's team, took somebody's back. I'm assuming he took the back of somebody on Arman's team. So Arman's team came in and started punching a dude who was on his back. This is Georgio's brother right here. His younger brother. This Georgio's younger brother. And to be honest with you, I don't know if it was shown in this little clip that's playing right now. For the record, you know, this big old tubby dude, he came and pressed Georgio's little brother. Like, he just straight came and pressed Georgio's little brother. So this big old dude had it coming. I don't know what Georgio's little brother did to him, but shit was calming down and homie just started pressing him, rushed him, and Georgio's brother started punching on him. And look at Space Kid. Shout out to Space Kid in the comments up here. Damn, they're doing Georgio's dad dirty. So this is the whole brawl that took place. And America first, I see what you said about Rolly. If we got some time, we could look into Ryan Garcia, Rolly, Devin Haney, that whole situation. Basically, just a side note real quick. Ryan Garcia, he calling out Devin Haney, he pushing for the rematch. Rolly not happy about it. Rolly calling out Ryan, saying he ducked the rematch, you know, on his side. So that's definitely something we can look at. And I guess he went off on Pacquiao, Rolly. I don't know what he said about Pacquiao, so I'll have to take a look. But yeah, Ryan, he making headlines today as well. So, you know, here's more footage of the brawl. You know, here's the broadcast footage, so to speak.
Not expect this. Poullas looks for the takedown. Tsarukyan stuffs it, and this match is over. Arman Tsarukyan is and it has all broken loose as they are going to get these things sorted out here, folks. Izzy Martinez having to get involved. Chad Bronstein having to get involved here, folks. And hopefully security can get this taken care of. Emotions boiling over here at RAF06. That is not what this sport is all about, and we have got to rein this in. A lot of kids here watching, and this is not how we conduct ourselves.
This does not shed light on RAF, not at all.
And everything. Need to get these guys to the back, and we got a lot of folks. Folks, it's RAF06 here. Did not expect here. Getting things sorted out. It was one of the most insane scenes that we have ever seen. Georgio Poullas and Arman Tsarukyan. Who thought this is what was going to go down? I mean, the emotions are real, Kurt. Chill.
Well, you know what? They must have been holding it in the whole entire match until the match was over.
Here, getting things sorted out. It was one of the most insane scenes that we have ever seen. Georgio Poullas and Arman Tsarukyan. Who thought this is what was going to go down? I mean, the emotions are real, Kurt. Chill.
Well, you know what? They must have been holding it in the whole entire match until the match was over.
Here.
All right. And then here's the slap. Here's the slap that basically started it all. Boom, right there. Right there. And that came from Arman trying to protest. You know, I knew this was going to come. I'm going to play the clip of me predicting it and Georgio essentially predicting it as well. But what happened is during that first opening round in the first 2 minutes, you know, Georgio, he's using a lot of heavy collar ties, right? And Arman was cool with it. Arman was cool with it for a hot minute, but there was one collar tie that Arman didn't really fuck with, and it was more of a slapping motion. You know, it was a bit more of like an annoying motion, I would say. You know, the past ones, it was you know, post on the head type thing, snap down, try to go for a front headlock, snap down, things like that, right? But then the one that Arman didn't like was when Georgio just kind of like hit him with one of those. You know, like one of those ones, like a swiping hand. He didn't like that. But Arman was cool the whole opening first 2 minutes of like this posting Georgio's doing, this clubbing, trying to get a front headlock. You know, he's cool with all that. But as soon as he did one swiping motion, you know, like a swiping motion in the first round, Arman kind of hits him with this, right? Then Georgio shoves him to keep the action going because you can't really call a timeout to the ref. So Georgio shoves him. Ref steps in for a split second. He's basically like, keep the match going. So then Arman's like, well, fuck you, dude. Boom, slaps him. And that's when everything went crazy. Then Georgio goes ahead and he starts petitioning for like a DQ, essentially. You know, Izzy Martinez has to come to the center of the mat and calm them down, essentially. They start wrestling again, and now it's just Chippy from here on out. You know, now you get even crazier things because Georgio's playing by Arman's rules now. You know, Arman opened the door for the slap, so Georgio's like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to play dirty back then. And Georgio told us he would do this in the interview. But Georgio says, fuck it, I'm going to play dirty back then. So how does Georgio play dirty back? Well, now he's actually clubbing. And clubbing is illegal. Collar ties are one thing to set up takedowns, but just naked clubs, bro, these are things that they will stop action and they'll say you can't be doing that. And, you know, Henry Cejudo even called him on it, so we'll play that footage too. But it started getting dirty as soon as Arman opened the door for that slap. And why do I say Georgio kind of deserved it? Well, because Georgio, you know, there's another replay of things that happened where Georgio does a collar tie, right, or a club, and Arman protests. So Arman steps back and he's like, bro, what the fuck? And it happens again where Georgio pushes Arman, just like it happened in the first round. But this time, because it's Chippy, because he got slapped, he don't push Arman to the chest. He pushed Arman to the face. And I have footage of that too. We're going to look at that footage as well. But I'm just kind of laying this all out for you. A little bit of how this all played out through the 3 periods. So yeah, he does start shoving Arman in the face after Arman slaps him. And, you know, I mean, that's why you shouldn't be surprised that you got decked after the match, homie. You shouldn't be surprised. I'm not, you know I did say he kind of deserved it. And I mean, he had it coming. But Arman shouldn't have slapped him in the first place. So I will say that as well. You know, he did have it coming because what he did. but Arman shouldn't have slapped him in the first place. You know, they made 2 wrongs, and then Arman said, fuck it, I'm gonna make a 3rd wrong and deck you as soon as regulation ends. You know, but Arman wronged him, then Georgio wrongs him, then Arman says, fuck you. And I mean, I get it. And what are you supposed to do? Just take shit from someone because they could beat your ass? I'm not really of that train of thinking. So, like, I'm not really telling Arman, oh, you shouldn't have pushed, or I'm not really telling Georgio he shouldn't have pushed Arman in the face because Arman can beat his ass. At the end of the day, it's about respect. And as a man, you're going to demand your respect, you know, whether they could beat your ass or not. I would rather demand my respect than cower down. So, you know, that is what happened. But Arman, he the tougher dude. He the real fighter. So what do you expect to happen? I'm just kind of laying it all out for you matter-of-factly. You know, I understand everybody's actions in this, to be honest with you. And I don't really blame anybody. I guess, to be honest, the onus of the blame comes from Arman slapping him. Just to keep it a buck. And it is what it is, you know. But the onus of the blame should come from Arman slapping him. The onus should come from there. Because Arman opened up the floodgates. So there's that, right? And then now let's get to the pre-match interview that I did with Georgio this past Monday, where I told Georgio this was going to happen. I saw it coming from a mile away, because if you've seen one take me down challenge from Georgio, you know he likes the heavy collar tie, and it is essentially clubbing. It is essentially clubbing, but he doing it in the streets, you know? So I guess you're allowed to, just like, you know, in the streets, there's no out of bounds. In the streets, there's no clubbing. Collar tie, you know, it is what it is. So I knew this. I could see this coming from a mile away, and that's why I had to ask him the question, because I knew Arman wouldn't stand for these heavy collar ties. I just knew he wouldn't. I absolutely just knew he wouldn't. So let's hear Georgio speak on it.
Used to get a bit chippy at times. Like in his last grappling match with ACD, he like ended up slapping his opponent or something, or like kneeing him. Obviously, he like headbutted Dan Hooker and like punched a fan and stuff. So you expecting any chippiness in this match, or like is this news to you?
No, actually, I got a lot of comments, people saying stuff like that. This is what I'll say: if he gets chippy with me, I'm gonna hand it right back to him. I don't play that shit. If he wants to slap me, I'm gonna punch him in the face. That's that. Listen, I don't take.
You know, if he wants to get chippy with me, I'm gonna hand it right back to him. If he wants to slap me, I'm gonna punch him in the face. That second part he didn't really do, but that first part he did do. If he wants to get chippy with me, I'm gonna hand it right back to him, and he did. He did hand it right back to him.
Shit from nobody, you know. If he wants to start playing dirty, man, I'll play dirty right back. You know, I don't take shit from nobody.
Arman.
So I see a lot of people calling cap, and yeah, he didn't punch him in the face. So you guys are right, but he didn't take the shit necessarily either. He didn't take the shit necessarily either. Now there is one other thing I want to mention. Which is after that second period, there was still no takedowns. You know, there was still no official takedowns. But after that second period, something weird happened because Georgio got an extra break. Mr. Georgio was trying to go ahead and get some extra time over some tape on his fingers. A little bit, you know, Georgio just pulled out all the veteran moves, essentially. And I don't know what to call it. I don't know if it's unethical. I don't know if it's not classy. I don't know what to call it. But I mean, you know, heavy collar ties, he used up his warning there. You know, twisting the fingers on the tie-ups. You know, they're tying up on the fingers. Georgio doing a lot of twisting. You feel me? Arman calling him on that too. That's what happened all the second round. Lots of twisting of the fingers and shit like that. And Arman calling it as well. In between that round, I guess fucking Georgio tweaked his own finger or something, because Georgio's pulling out the veteran moves, tweaking fingers. Then, you know, he pulls out another veteran move in the corner. He gets extra time in between periods, asking her to tape up his fingers, asking for extra tape, calling Izzy over. He gets more energy. And honestly, he comes out and he shoots immediately in that third period. I mean, he shoots immediately in that third period. And it's just like, I can't help but think that Georgio pulled a veteran move. He gave himself a few extra seconds to recover, knowing that he's going to blast double homie or go for a signature takedown. You know, I don't know the name of his signature takedown, but he did land it on homie. And that's why I think he, you know, did a little gamesmanship in the corner in between rounds, the second and third, because he came out firing off a shot and he got it. That's when Arman also ended the match with a takedown of his own, essentially. But he pushed him out of bounds, so they came back in bounds and they were grappling a bit more. But that's pretty much how the whole fight played out, or the whole match played out. And there were 3 veteran moves Georgio was trying to execute. You know, heavy collar ties, aka clubbing, twisting of the fingers, getting extra time in between rounds. Call him a veteran, call him a cheapskate, you know, call him what you want to call him. But that is what he was doing. That is how things played out.
Seems to get a bit.
So now that you guys see, you know, this was set up ahead of time and it was manifested essentially. Now let's hear what Georgio had to say after the match. Interesting though, Georgio deleted this statement that he issued after the match from his social media. Now, as somebody who's also had to delete some stuff in the past, that doesn't say much good things about your self-belief in the things you said. It seems like he had some regret and that's why he deleted it. I don't think he should have deleted it. But I mean, here's a little snippet of it. He goes, Arman, you're a little bitch. I'm the only one that got a takedown. Technically, he is. In the streets, no. But it's funny because in the streets, Arman's not the bitch. Technically, Georgio's the bitch. I'm just keeping it a buck. All right. In the streets, Arman's not the bitch. Georgio's the bitch. But in the streets also, Georgio got taken down. So in the streets, you know, it's rough for Georgio. In the streets, it's rough for Georgio. Under the rule set, you know, Georgio got a win on Arman for the takedown that Arman didn't secure, technically. And Arman got that win on Georgio by getting to deck him. But in the streets, I mean, Arman won that in the streets, to be honest with you. I know I keep bringing up the streets, but it's worth mentioning because Georgio comes from the streets, the $1,000 Take Me Down Challenge. Okay, let's watch Georgio's statement after the match.
All right, I want to send a message. So
the neck brace is crazy, by the way. The neck brace is crazy. Like, what the fuck's going on? He was out of the neck brace in like 5 minutes, but homie trying to sue. Homie trying to put his ducks in a row for a lawsuit or something. Something. He dramatized to the doctors or something, the ambulance guys. He's like, shit, man, my neck hurting. All sarcastic. My neck hurting after that punch. I need a neck brace. I'm going to chase an ambulance. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just joking a little bit.
all my fans and supporters, I want to thank you guys. I hope you guys got some enjoyment out of the match tonight. Unfortunately, I was jumped, but as you guys saw, my 62-year-old dad and both my brothers came to my rescue. That's the way we were brought up, to fight for each other no matter what. We're outnumbered by like 12 Armenians, and they came out there running, fighting with me, fighting for me. So that's fucking love. That's how we were raised. To Arman, you're a little bitch. And by the way, if you guys watch the match, I'm the only one that got a takedown. He got pushed out and a couple penalty points. I'm still the champ, baby.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what happened. I don't even know how Arman got all of his points. He got a bunch of crazy points. There was like 1 point just awarded off of like the like those pauses that Arman was calling for. All of a sudden, like after Izzy came to the center of the mat and he walked back, all of a sudden Georgio's down 1 point. Then they put the shot clock on Georgio. Georgio doesn't fulfill it and he's down 2 points. So honestly, Arman got like a quick 2 free points. That shouldn't have really happened to Georgio. That was too soon a little bit. But yeah, that's this one. And then yeah, here's just the
Exactly right.
As a compliment to Sir.
okay, so here is a lot of the chippiness. Here's a lot of the chippiness that went down during the match. So you're gonna see here it's a compilation of the heavy collar tying, the clubbing, the pushes to the face. I got more angles of this though. So this is a broadcast angle. I got more angles from inside the arena that we're gonna look at. But before I do this, motherfuckers, like the damn stream. What the fuck? 8 likes, 50 people watching, giving you guys all the juice, all the breakdown, 8 fucking likes. I know you guys are enjoying it to the point where you're not even liking the damn stream. So before I even play this, please run up the likes, motherfuckers. I mean, 25 likes right now. Easy money. Easy money. What's poppin', Miata boy? I see Miata boy in this. Me and Arman are just a different breed. Some would say Giga Chads. Georgio pulled out the boss root and palm strikes. I mean, he did pull out the boss root and palm strikes. He definitely did.
Tsarukyan into Tsarukyan's drive.
So you see, that was that push to the chest. We're in the first period. So I love that this is the actual broadcast because it's going to show you guys the recount that I've already been telling you, right? I told you in that second period, Before the slap happened, Georgio pushed Arman, right? The action continued. Here's where the slap comes. Bow.
Oh.
Bow. Okay?
Oh, and wow.
Get mad so fast.
Dang.
He headbutted Dan Hooker at a weigh-in.
As they say, you mad, bro?
Do you see the slapping motion there? That's why I'm saying it was more of a drag. It was more of a this motion than it was like a snap down to like a tie up. You know, a lot of times they'll snap down, they'll get the underhook, something like that. But it's just a naked, just like a swipe in the face, kind of like a club. I honestly wouldn't know what to call this, but this is what pissed off Arman, is that one right there.
Oh wow, here we go. This isn't gonna stop.
Now Georgio playing dirty. These are real clubs. These are actual clubs. That's what I'm trying to say too. Okay, I don't want to get twisted up, so I'm gonna try to be very clear about this. But what I said a second ago about that swiping one, right? I know Arman's acting like it was illegal, and I know I almost made it seem like it was, but it's because I'm buying into the fucking gamesmanship from Arman, so I apologize for that. That first one wasn't really illegal, and I did say this earlier, that the first one wasn't really illegal, and the slap that Arman threw first wasn't warranted. Now, everything that happens after the slap, you know, it's warranted on both sides. Georgio is allowed to fucking club the shit out of him for slapping him. And if Georgio wants to get spicy back, he's allowed to. I mean, these boys are just fighting now. You know, they're just scrapping now. But these are the clubs I'm talking about. This is real clubbing. That, you see the difference though, right? Boom, boom, that's clubbing. But this isn't really clubbing. It's just annoying, and he might have fucking like, you know, put his fingers on his face, and Arman didn't like that. But I'm trying to really help you guys out. I know a lot of you guys probably don't even know wrestling that much, so I'm trying to simplify it for you.
No,
See, and the ref did call that. The ref did call that. And Henry Cejudo called Georgio out on it to his face in front of his brothers and his dad. Shout out to Henry.
Not going to stop. Hurt him. 2-0.
Boom again. Those are heavy. But see how he ties up immediately? He is kind of dirty with that. He is kind of dirty with it. But shit, that's the game. You know, sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes you can't. It's honestly subjective. You know, a ref could call that a club. He could not call it a club. You know, it's gamesmanship. But Georgio, he running it now because Arman slapped his ass. And I'm telling you, the first collar ties and stuff, they weren't that bad until Arman slapped him.
Yeah, and here we go. Poullas thinks he has something. He has nothing. Hand on the head. I mean, he just had a problem with it, period. He wants to turn this into,
See, and that was to the face. And I got the angle, but this is where Arman, sorry to keep pausing it, but if you guys didn't watch it, I think you would appreciate this. This is where Arman turns around and absolutely crashes out and screams, bro, out of frustration. He's going to put his arms in his singlet right now, turn around and just scream because, you know, he called Georgio for another collar tie or a club. And then Georgio fucking shoved him in the face this time. I told you about the face shove. It's after the chest shove. Now he's face shoving Arman. Watch Arman crash out.
That's going to be it. I think we may. I don't know if this thing continues.
Push, to my understanding, that's wrestling.
This is getting a little out of hand.
Okay, not yet. The crash out's not coming yet. But that was a push to the face, point blank, period.
You know, Arman started wrestling as a kid. I guess he started in MMA at 17 years.
Twisting of the fingers. This is the thing, twisting of the fingers. Second period here. As you guys can see.
Grabbing his finger. Money in the vault. I mean, we got to get a takedown, right?
Boom. Slaps him in the back of the head at the end of the second period. Probably over the finger twisting. Now, you know, I didn't realize in real time, but probably because of the finger twisting. Now it makes sense why he slapped him.
Jeez.
Oh my God. You can't do that.
Exactly
I mean this
right.
as a compliment to Tsarukyan and to Tsarukyan's drive.
Okay, so we took a look at this. There's so much to cover on this. So just, I mean, stay locked in. We haven't even played Georgio. Actually, that might be a good place to start as well. No, let's play this one real quick. Actually, no, we're still on the Georgio thing, so let's hang on.
Arman.
I want to complete Georgio's, you know, responses after the match and all that stuff. So, here's Georgio. Like I said, he deleted the ambulance video, motherfucker. And he posted another one, too, of him walking into the hospital or being rolled in. But, so he deleted 2 videos. But here's Georgio. This is actually his official first statement after the match. It's very short, but, I mean, it's worth looking at.
As you can see, I got jumped tonight. The first person that comes to my rescue is my 62-year-old dad and my brothers. That's how the Poullas boys do. We stick together. Arman, fuck you. As you can see, I got jumped tonight.
Yeah, Arman, he says, Arman, fuck you. You know, we stick together. So Mayhem Miller goes, I would have been swinging too. See what I mean, though? It's like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, Georgio, maybe he didn't, like, deserve it. I'm not trying to be rude here, but he definitely had it coming. Like, Georgio definitely had it coming. He shouldn't be surprised. I mean, you guys both opened up the door for a full-on fight. If you guys didn't want to fight, you should have, you know, acted differently. But I guess they wanted to run it, so I'm not going to stop him. Shit, nobody did stop him. Georgio got to do an interview with Nina Drama now to really piss off Arman. In fact, actually, I was going to do that. I was going to reach out to Georgio for the interview, for a follow-up. Let me do that right now real quick. I was waiting for it to be a little bit later in the evening. Okay. Okay, I've reached out for the interview officially. For the follow-up. So hopefully we can get Georgio on. And Tyler Betts, while I do understand the whole thing about getting Georgio on Nina, come on, bro. We need Georgio on this bitch. We need Georgio on this bitch right here, this platform. Fuck Nina. Okay. And you know, there's so much to this. Oh my gosh. There's so much little shit to this. It's actually crazy. So I mean, let me just keep trying to keep it as chronological as possible, like flowing as things happened. So if I'm keeping it as chronological as possible, let's go to Arman's response. Very simple, but Arman hit him with the fuck around and find out. You know, fuck around and find out. That's Arman's response to this whole thing. That's how he's taking it. No apologies. Unapologetic. You fuck around, you find out. You play with me, find out. You know, don't play with me, play with your bitch. All right? Because if you play with me, you getting decked after this match. And that's exactly what happened. So that's all it was for Arman, like fuck around and find out. But there is some other stuff like on Arman's story and stuff that we will be taking a look at.
Arman seems to get a bit.
But before we do that, let's take a look at Georgio. Well, no, I want to run this down real quick too. Just let's take a look one more time at the takedowns. One more time at the takedowns, just to be very concise with everything. If new people have joined, let's take a look at the takedowns. So the first one we'll look at is Georgio taking down Arman in the third period. Georgio did get the first takedown, you know, and actually the only takedown officially.
Come on, come on, come on.
So watch real quick. That's that point I'm talking about, that Georgio, that Arman wasn't awarded. This is the point I'm talking about, that Arman wasn't awarded. In the past, if these guys were grounded and somebody fell out of bounds, it doesn't count as a push out technically. UWW just changed the rule. If you are pushed out of bounds, doesn't matter if you're grounded or not. You go out of bounds, that's a point. So the referee missed this point here. This is one of the ones I was talking about. Referee missed this point here. But Georgio fell over the top trying to turn Arman. And no point was awarded for Arman here. And it should have been. But, you know, with that being said, Georgio hit his signature takedown that he hits on everybody on Arman. He hit the signature takedown. And here is, you know, the controversial takedown. Is it a takedown? Is it a push out? I'm going to tell you guys, it's a motherfucking push out. All right. I don't know who needs to tell you, but it's a push out. Solid takedown, though. Solid takedown, though. But I will say this. You know, Georgio probably stopped wrestling a bit once he stepped out of bounds, no? Boom. Because a lot of people are saying Georgio had the whizzer and he would have gone belly down. But he knew he was out of bounds, so he didn't waste the energy. And if you guys don't know what a whizzer is, I guess I'll explain it to you right here. The whizzer is that arm in between Arman's, armpit on the far side. So you don't see Georgio overhooking his armpit on the near side, but on the far side shoulder, Georgio's overhooking Arman's armpit right now. Now, if Georgio would have gone belly down, it would have been no takedown. Arman would have still had to scramble to fully take control of his back. But people are saying, it wouldn't have even been a takedown. Georgio had the whizzer. He would have gone belly down. So now that you know that, right, we could play it again for you. Boom. So, one more time. Whizzer. Ready? He just said fuck it. Not a takedown. Not a takedown, but shit, in the streets, it's a takedown. Now that we went over the takedowns,
Arman seems to.
Let's go over some more of Georgio's statements after the match. Because Georgio was doing, this is probably my biggest critique on Georgio. And it's going to seem super like, I don't know, I look for people to be calling this out. And nobody's really calling it out. I guess I'm one of these guys, maybe I'm too sensitive. I don't know what the fuck you guys are going to want to call this. Or maybe a lot of you will agree with me. I think a lot of you will agree with me because I think a lot of you are UFC fans and you ride for the UFC fighters. So maybe you'll just agree with me because you're biased, or maybe you genuinely think I'm right about this. But what am I about to get to? Passive aggression from Georgio on Merab? I was about to call him Arman. Passive aggression coming from Georgio on Merab? No, Georgio could not and would not try to be passive aggressive to Merab. Or would he? Now, let me ask you guys this before we get started on this. If you're talking to another man, right, and you're pinching him on his trap while you're talking to him, is that passive aggressive? If I'm looking at you and I'm saying, hey, brother, so what do you think about the match tonight? What did you think about the match? Who the fuck do you think you're pinching on the trap, homie? Try that shit with John Jones. See what happens. John Jones don't stand for it. The whole shoulder tap. Georgio straight pinching Merab's trap. I swear to God, I wouldn't have been mad at Merab if he chinned Georgio right there for that. I wouldn't have been mad. Now let's take a look, though. Arman speaks about the match and everything. Then Georgio does the trap pinch, and I was just like heated. I was steaming for Merab. But, this is also, I will say this, Merab not playing into it shows what real, so to speak, men, right? Real confident men who are confident in their abilities. They don't gotta make you feel like that all the time. Like, oh, I'm more tough than you. Don't pinch my trap. It's already known. He could let Georgio get away with that shit, and Georgio will still go to bed at night knowing that Merab would take that ass twice on Sunday. All right. So I will say that too, Merab keeping his cool, it shows that he's super secure. He knows what the deal is. He don't gotta, get Georgio to admit that he's the man or tell him that he's being passive aggressive. Merab, no, he comfortable in his own skin. So, props to Merab for not crashing out because, Arman would, John Jones would.
I gotta ask you, what do you want to see?
First, what I want to see is I want you and Arman shake their hands and make this rematch again. And I know you guys are slapping each other. It was fun to watch, but now I want to see the winner because today we don't really see the winner. It was chaos, like really crazy things happen after the match. It was fun for me, but we want to now see winner. And yeah.
Merab, I think a rematch is a great idea.
Stop. Get your hand off him. Get your fucking hand off Merab. Look at him looking at you. He's like, you did not just put your hand on my trap, did you? And honestly, Georgio does it twice. Georgio runs the trap grab twice. This is not the first time Georgio is going to grab Merab's trap. And I do see Miata Boy saying he better not be pressing Merab. He will get 29-28'd. Shit, he'll get 30-26'd. All right, pressing Merab like that. But Tyler Bet says, make sure to ask Georgio about this. I will. And Georgio, come on, bro. I'm entertaining the fans. Oh my God. Nobody get mad at me for my fucking takes on this, all right? Nobody get mad at me for my takes on this. I belong on no sides, all right? I love that this all happened, Okay, I'm not mad at anybody. Okay, but we just talking shit. We having fun. Georgio, I would love to interview again, motherfucker. I've already reached out for it. And if you happen to see this, do not get mad at me. All right? We having fun. I'm going to ask you this anyway. You know, actually, you know, you guys know I don't like to announce interviews too often. And actually, I won't. But I'm going to tell you guys, I got another great interview coming up tomorrow. And no, it's not Joaquin Buckley. It's actually related to RAF. All right? It's actually related to RAF, and it's actually related to me and Georgio's interview we just did, where we spoke about a certain wrestler that competes for RAF and him offering to, you know, compete in his $1,000 Take Me Down challenge. So we're going to interview homie tomorrow. We're going to get his thoughts on Georgio. You know, we're going to stir up some more stuff. We're going to have some more fun. So I got more things for Georgio to answer after this interview drops. After this interview tomorrow completes, Georgio, he going to have to answer to some of these things homie got to say tomorrow. So don't worry. I got the content for you guys. We got the content. But sorry for that little segue. Here's the first trap pinch, and get ready for the second one.
If I didn't give up any penalty points, I would have won that match.
I don't know. To be honest, I'm not a wrestler.
Just holding it there is crazy, though. Like, why are you still holding his trap?
I'm not.
There you go. Let go.
I'm not good judging, and I don't even know rules. Yeah, I wrestling in a fight, but you know. But I wish you good luck, my friend. And then,
thank you, brother.
Arman is also a good guy, strong guy, and I wish him good luck too. And let's wrestle again.
See the trap grab again. It's Georgio. This is what I would say. Have some respect for Merab, homie. Have some respect for Merab. Don't grab him on the trap like that. That's just me being genuine. That's honestly just me being genuine. Have a little bit of respect for Merab. Don't grab him on the trap like that. And anyone who disagrees with me, shit, we just disagree.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's that. I am aware that I could be making a big deal out of nothing, but that's how I take things. So call me crazy. Colby Covington reacted to it.
All right, guys, I'm here with Colby Covington. Question, brother. What are your thoughts on the match last night?
I thought it was a great match. You know, it was high intensity. You know, wrestling's a physical sport, so it got very physical at times. And, you know, it was a very closely contested fight. It could have went either way, you know. And I didn't like the calls, you know, taking points away from you, putting you in a tough position where you're compromising. You had to come back from behind. So it was a tough match. You guys put it all out there. But that's what wrestling is. We're not playing a little pitsy-patsy sport. So you're playing for fucking glory, and, you know, it's physical, and we want to be the best. So
absolutely,
you put your heart out there, and it was exciting to see.
Appreciate that, brother. Hey, if I don't get those penalty points, I win that match. But more exciting, I think we got a rematch in the future.
That's true. I think we got a good rematch for RAF, maybe 7 or 8 in the future. So let's make it happen. Let's find out if fucking Arman can actually beat fucking Georgio without all these crazy penalty calls and 1 point here and there and 3 points down. Let's make it a fair match. We'll be a clean match next time, and we'll make it fair.
I think that's what the people want to see. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Safe travels.
Thank you. God bless.
All right, God bless, brother.
Bro, either Colby's drunk as fuck here, or like kind of teed, not super drunk, but kind of teed, or he tired as hell. But Colby, like, this ain't the, I mean, maybe he's just out of character, I don't know, but Colby, like, super mellow here. And I just gotta read this real quick. Miata Boy goes, Jacob, what do you expect from a guy with pockets on his knees? Stop, Miata Boy. Don't do that to Georgio. Come on now. Oh my gosh. What do you expect from a guy who has pockets on his knees? If you caught the pockets on the knees, you caught him. Dave says that's a takedown. It's not a takedown, Dave. Bloodhound Lil Jeff, shit. Shout out Bloodhound Lil Jeff. We got the Bloodhound Lil Jeff in the building. We stay getting celebs in the building. Shout out to the Bloodhound Lil Jeff. Merab, the most respectful guy in the world. You're right. Yeah, he is very respectful. Damn, didn't know Georgio was that short. Yeah, apparently, I think he said he's 5'7". Him and Arman are both 5'7". There's more. Don't even worry. We got to hear Henry Cejudo calling him out, don't we? We got to hear Henry Cejudo calling him out. Are they deleting the Henry Cejudo calling out Georgio reels or what? Bro, why do they delete shit? We cannot be having them delete the Henry Cejudo calling out Georgio reels. Is it on my story? So, okay, let's go over the story real quick then. You guys see it, right? That's the face push. That's the face push. And I did say this. I said, okay, Georgio, I had your back, but no excuse for this face push. You know, no excuse for it, Georgio. Even if you did it wrong, you don't got to do it back. But Georgio did say he would do it back. Shout out Bloodhound Lil Jeff saying I'm back, gang. Okay, but let's watch this face push one more time. It's egregious. It's egregious. And, you know, these guys are making 2 wrongs, you know? Let's take a look one more time. Boom. And that actually made Arman crash out. Okay, but let's watch the whole story. So here's Arman, or sorry, here's Khamzat. Let's watch Khamzat reacting. So that's Khamzat's reaction. Miyadba says, Jacob, did you see Uriah Faber? He's built like a Chevy Suburban. Bro, yeah, Uriah's gut was hanging out all in that singlet. It was kind of sad to see. Uriah's, I mean, it was just like, oh my gosh, Uriah. Like, you're thick as hell, bro. You are literally thicker than a Snicker, Uriah. His stomach was sticking out of that singlet so heavily, especially when he was bent over. You could just see the whole stomach, like, coming out. No offense. I mean, shit. I'm just saying what I got to say. But here's here's Sugar Sean, his reaction to the brawl. Okay, so, you know, Merab and Sean. And I see a great comment, by the way. I see HEZ. I don't even know how to say that. Is this true or no? In freestyle wrestling, if you start a takedown in bounds but finish out of bounds, the referee decides based on continuation and control. Let's look it up. Because I have been seeing people say that, like, he initiated the takedown in bounds. It's like, so what, though? Every takedown is initiated inbounds. What the hell are we even saying? You know, you can't run them out of bounds. But let's read the rules. This is just a random one. That's a takedown. Random one. My bad. Oh, another statement from Arman. Arman says, got the win and secured the bag. So I posted this up on the story because I figured you guys might want to see it. Another angle of the brawl, though. Another angle of the brawl. Georgio's dad coming in hot. Go through all the stories. I'm not sure what I posted on here, so we might as well look at it before we look up the takedown rules out of bounds.
Never get tired, never complain. Don't say nothing, keep working.
Hey, this is the best advice in life, I think. This is the best advice in life, I think. Let's take a quick segue to listen to the GOAT, Floyd Mayweather, speak while training.
Never get tired, never complain. Don't say nothing, keep working. Champion, don't.
Never comply, never complain. I forget already. Let's play it.
Champions just work. Oh, get back. Oh, right there. Oh, right there. Oh, right there. Oh, right there. Still got all my money. Remember? They thought Money May wasn't smart. They thought Money May was stupid. They thought I was like the rest of the athletes and entertainers. No.
Okay, so that is all the stories I got. That's all the stories I got. But we can actually look at Arman Tsarukyan. I think he posted a story, actually. Oh, but we're going to look down the takedown rule, so we'll do that too. I see Hezo says, you get the takedown if your attack started in bounds, the action was continuous, no stop, you established control before or as you went out. Then Hezo says, I'm confused. The ref and commentating counted as a takedown, but scoring awarded 1 point. Should have been 2. Yeah, I'm going to have somebody on tomorrow. He's going to answer it for me, too. He's going to answer that question for me, too. So I guess stay tuned. But it seems like I don't got to look it up because Hezo did. So shout out to Hezo. Yeah, it says you looked up the rule. I looked up the rule in freestyle wrestling and then you provided it. So thank you for that. It is actually a big question. It's actually a big question. It's a tough one to answer. But I'm going to say no takedown. You know, until someone else can explain it to me a bit better, I'm going to say no takedown. I'm going to say no takedown.
Nobody has taken me. Nobody has.
Oh, well, look at that. Waiting for my money. Waiting for my money, says Arman, for that takedown. Then he posts a clip of Georgio saying he's never been taken down. Arman kicking it in Glendale. What up, Space Kid? Arman getting a little massage. By man is crazy. Pull up Henry versus Faber match. So yeah, Arman just getting a rub down. Oh, also Arman on the plane. Watch Arman crash out during this game though. Like, is Arman just a loose cannon or what? Watch him, Loki. Look at him. He's like mad now. I know he's probably just messing with the homie, but still. I'm starting to wonder that. Like, is Arman a super loose cannon or what? Let me scroll through some bookmarks, see what I got for you on here. Nope, looks like we completed it. Yeah, looks like we completed the story. I'm seeing a lot of stuff we've already covered, which is a good thing. Yeah, it's already been covered by me. I covered it all. Oh, we missed one, but here it is. I knew there was one more. We got to go to Henry Cejudo calling out Georgio, putting Georgio on blast. Creators Inc. did take this off their feed, cowards. Sorry. I don't know them. Let's watch this real quick. Henry with his lost voice calling out Georgio in front of his whole family. Saying like, homie, do better.
I just gotta tell you the truth. Well, your dad, and you know, correct me if I'm fucking wrong.
I wrestled to win, but he pulled out slapping me
and
try and
I
club
love
me.
that. And you're getting away with shit because it's real American freestyle. If it was regular freestyle, they fucking disqualify you and him.
They should have disqualified him.
I just gotta tell you the truth. Well, your dad, and you know, correct me if I'm fucking wrong.
I wrestled to win.
So, you know, Cejudo calling him out to his face. What's poppin', Ricky LaFleur? Hezo actually has a good little explanation of his take on things. Hezo goes, been watching Arman Oh my God. People spelling it with an I, people spelling it with an E. It's Arman, Arman. But anyway, been watching Arman videos. He's super entertaining and funny, likable dude. Big fan of Georgio content also. I mean, that's pretty much, not that I would say Arman is super entertaining and funny, but I do like Arman. I've been enjoying his PR run as of late, and I like Georgio too. You know? Unbroken says, be careful, we might see your search history. That's why I'd be making it black, just in case. Georgio, well-deserved. Bobby Green plus the fan. Also, Dana White has no control over matchmaking, so it's kind of funny, those memes. Damn, homie can't come in here with lots of thoughts. True Silence says W Arman. Yeah, so that's all of it. That is all of it. We covered it in its entirety. There's a few things that we're going to take a look on the bookmarks now. Some current events on the day. I'm just trying to figure out which one I really want to get into first. And I think this is one I want to get into first. This one right here. This one right here. Attendance for UFC Mexico, 16,454. First non-sellout in 3 years. Little over 3,500 tickets unsold. Honestly, this says it all. This says it all. The charade is up. The gig is up. UFC fans can shill for the promotion all they want. You know, let me hear all the diehard UFC fans in the chat right now. Come on, bring it on. Let me hear all the diehard UFC fans in the chat right now. Tell me UFC Mexico was a dope card. It was worth watching. I watch it from beginning to end. Come on. Come on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Now's the time. Make yourselves known, you UFC shills. The gig is up. The gig is up. No, ain't no one watching. You know, you niche audience of UFC shills. Okay. I don't mean to fully offend you, but if you're just going to always watch the UFC, right? And you're not going to call them on their bullshit when they're not giving us good fights. Honestly, I don't feel bad for you at all. You know, I don't feel bad for you at all. Calling you out like this right now. But it's like 3,500 tickets unsold, first non-sellout in 3 years. Here's one of them coping right now. Here's one of them UFC shills coping right now, Miata boy. Look at what's going on in Mexico. I wouldn't be in a big crowd either. You know, it has nothing to do with that. Actually, maybe it does. Maybe it does, to be honest. Honestly, to be honest, yeah, I forgot about all that cartel shit. It might have something to do with it. But I'm not gonna cope like that because last weekend sucked too. Last weekend sucked too, bro. Last weekend absolutely sucked too. Why the fuck does Miata Boy have to give good points at times when I don't want a good point to be given? It's okay. I mean, it's just the name of the game. But it's like, I did not see that point coming. Miata Boy, he kind of read a little bit. You know, that could have had something to do with it. But like I say, I'm not going to cope. I'm not going to cope like that. The last event sucked. This event wasn't no better. Yeah, I see you guys all agreeing. It for sure has something to do with that. Yeah, it probably does. It probably does. But anyway, I'm gonna still get this take out, which is that the UFC, they need to do better. You know, we got no fights that we want to see. Loner Kavanagh versus fucking Brandon Moreno. Come on, bro. Who is gonna buy that ticket anyway? Who's gonna buy that ticket? I love taking steroids and smoking meth. Jesus Christ, Ricky. It was a 6 out of 10 though, if I'm being real. So you know, I guess two things can be true. Maybe two things can be true. UFC Mexico, maybe fans didn't buy the tickets, right? Because of what's going on over there. But also, maybe it's because it was a shit-ass main event between Brandon Moreno and Loner Kavanagh. Maybe that's what it is. Kavanagh showed out for what it's worth. I mean, he performed. Jacob get 49-46 RIP. I wouldn't say it's a 49-46. I would say that you're not wrong necessarily, but doesn't mean that because you made a good point that that's the only point that stands. I think that two things can be true at the same time. I think that the UFC is delivering shit-ass cards since the beginning of the year. Okay, it's all been shit. I guess Strickland versus Fluffy was pretty good, though. That's my favorite fight of the year so far. But aside from that, it's all been shit. And even Fluffy versus Strickland was a shit-ass card as a whole. You know, Jeff Neal and Euros Medic in the co-main. Who's buying that? Now, I know you probably would have bought the ticket for Strickland versus Fluffy, and that's fine. But now you fast forward to the next week's main event, and you got Moreno versus Loner Kavanagh. Like, what the fuck? So that's all I really got to say about this one. But, you know, ain't nobody watching. Let me just say it like this. RAF delivered a better product last night in the co-main event. Boxing, Navarrette's fight was better than the Moreno fight. So, you know, the weekend before that, Ryan Garcia outshined the UFC with the Strickland and the Fluffy fight. Right? Couple weeks before that, you got Shakur and Tio almost outshining the other card that was taking place during that time. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can pull it up. What aired during Shakur and Tio? Let me see here. Yeah, Volk. Volk versus Lopez too. Got outshined by Tio versus Shakur. Volk versus Lopez 2 getting outshined by Tio versus Shakur. You know, Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanagh getting outshined by RAF co-main event, getting outshined by Navarrete. Sean Strickland, Fluffy, getting outshined by Ryan Garcia, Mario Barrios. And I guess where this take was coming from is you know, I want to cover the stuff that the fans are interested in, that the fans want to watch. And to be honest with you, more fans are interested. Let me put it like this. More casual fans, right? Because the hardcore MMA fan base, it's not enough. It's not enough. You need casual fans to really draw up an audience. And all I notice is there's basically no casual fans watching the UFC. You know, in comparison to boxing, in comparison to RAF, there are like hardly any casual fans watching the UFC right now. Why would they? Who the fuck's gonna tune into Brandon Moreno versus Loner Kavanagh? Why would they? And so where I'm going with this, I be sitting here Saturday after Saturday, you know, prioritizing the UFC. So maybe this is more of a personal vendetta. But I come here Saturday after Saturday, right? Prioritizing the UFC coverage, prioritizing UFC events. Regardless if something's bigger, I'm covering the UFC first. I did this with Volk versus Lopez. I did this with Garcia. I did this with RAF last night. I've been doing this, like exactly how I just explained it. But I'm over it. I'm over prioritizing the UFC. You're going to give us fucking Brandon Moreno and Loner Kavanagh, make me sit here for 4.5 hours streaming some bullshit when I could be streaming something that's actually going to get views, like RAF, like Garcia versus Barrios. That's honestly where I'm at with it. That's why I'm bitching about it. Now my mom's back, so let me go close my door real quick. I'm in the middle of this, so I'm just going to shut the door. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so enough bitching about that, but it is worth saying. It is worth saying. Like, look at it from my perspective. Sitting on my hands covering Loner Kavanagh versus Brandon Moreno. To be honest with you guys, I didn't even wait for the decision to be over with. As soon as the fight ended, I switched over to RAF6. It's like getting to a point where I'm covering UFC as a formality. And why do I owe him that? Why do I owe the UFC coverage as a formality? I'm trying to pad these pockets. I made way more money covering RAF last night than I did covering fucking UFC Mexico. Made way more money covering RAF last night than UFC Mexico. I made more money covering Ryan Garcia over Sean Strickland. The list goes on. I made more money covering Shakur versus Tio over Volk versus, Diego. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. And I'd be doing it. I'd be showing the UFC so much love. But it's getting to a point. It's getting to a point. Do you have numbers for RAF yet? No. I didn't see any numbers for RAF. Did Dana address Deshaun's mic cutoff yet? That's a great question, Unbroken. No, he hasn't. Bobby Green title run starts now. Tripping. But, I mean, the bigger story is that Daniel Zellhuber absolutely fucking sucks. Like, what is he good at? Why did he get signed? He's supposed to be a good striker. He's getting outstruck by, like, over-the-hill Bobby Green touching 40. Honestly, Zellhuber, just get rid of him. I see Miata Boy saying, at what point do we send Marlon Vera to the PFL? Right after we send Daniel Zellhuber. Right after we cut Daniel Zellhuber. Bloodhound Little Jeff, I started watching almost every card 10 years ago. The quality of fights is dog shit now compared to them. To be honest with you, I'm going to just say it how it is. I'm going to say it how it is. The UFC has been dwindled down, and I'm sorry for all the gamblers. Okay, love you guys. But you call yourself degenerates all the time, so don't take it offensively when I say it. All right? The UFC has dwindled itself down to its fucking degenerate gambler fan base. That's the only reason why people watch UFC, because a lot of these gamblers, right, they know the ins and outs of the UFC. It's the safe bet. They know all the lore. They know all the history. They know how to make educated decisions. They're addicted to betting. They constantly bet on the UFC, and that's why they watch the whole fights. Don't get it twisted. Anybody who tells you they sit through the whole damn card, okay, and they don't bet on it, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. The only people, it's not even like hardcore fans anymore. Literally, it's like the hardcore fans won't even watch this shit. It's the degenerate gamblers in the fan base that just have to watch every single fight on the card. Honestly. And like, what the fuck? That's how you're gonna like propel the promotion? Just being dwindled down to being watched by people who bet on it? Casual fans don't even want to see it anymore. And I guess we're not going to be in any specific order right now. I'm just going to read out these bookmarks as they're coming along. But Magic Bets, shout out to Magic Bets. He aight. But Magic Bets, we're on the same page here. He goes, I don't see a conversation about how done and washed Brandon Moreno is at elite level. This conversation should be happening. He's going out sad, and he is. And he is. And he is. So, I mean, Brandon is done, essentially. He has lost to good guys, though. Tatsuro Taira, he pretty good. Loner Kavanagh, he pretty good. You give Brandon Moreno a scrub, of course he's going to beat him. But at the elite level, Brandon's days are a bit numbered. Let's look at UFC, right? Let's look at UFC.com. Let's see the rankings. Oh, and it's also, UFC 326 fight week. Where am I looking at, right? Flyweight, right? So Brandon Moreno, he number 6. Yeah, Kyoji Horiguchi, tough win for Brandon. Roy Val, we already ran that. Tyra, we already ran that. Cop, Could be tough. Pantoja already ran that. Abazi, Moreno already beat him. Alambayev, you know, Tim Elliott. These are guys that Brandon Moreno can beat. Alex Perez, Moreno already beat Ursig. Tagir, Charles Johnson. So it's time to start feeding Brandon to the lower half of the flyweight, you know, top 15. Essentially, let's call it the lower half of the flyweight top 10. You know, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. You know, these are all good matchups. Joseph Morales, Bruno, Charles, Tagir, Perez, Tim Elliott, Ostu Alambayev. Let's see where Brandon Moreno's at. Elliott versus Moreno would be good. It would be good. Tim Elliott deserves a name like that. 2 old heads. Honestly, you should put each old head up against somebody else. I forget who Tim Elliott called out, but he should get whoever he called out. And Brandon Moreno, I would be in favor of him versus Charles Johnson. Or Tagir, because Charles is booked. So, or Tagir. Or honestly, Joseph Morales. I'd like to see Brandon versus Joseph Morales. Tough winner. I'd like to see that. Miata Boy says, I watched the whole card. It was okay. Then Prezi got booed out of Mexico. Who's Prezi? All right, Daddy Dana given the key to happiness. This went viral today. I don't know why. But Daddy Dana speaking about the key to happiness. Let's take a look. Axe is saying, bro, to be honest, Georgio put up a small fight with Arman. I mean, he was able to wrestle against his strength, but I wish there was more clean wrestling. Me too. Me too. I don't think they'll do a rematch. Actually, let's end this poll, and let's do a new poll. Team Arman or Team Georgio? Team Arman. Team Georgio. Okay. Vote that up right now, too. I just want to see where you guys stand on that one. But 64% of you guys say Arman took down Georgio. I'm going to get to the bottom of that tomorrow. I'm going to have a guest on who knows all the rules, very, very elaborate. So I'll ask him tomorrow. And I actually have something I need to rant about. And it's about none other than Joaquin Buckley. Who would have thought Joaquin would have gotten
You Dana White?
What's up, Matt?
Hey, how are you? Peter, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm being
too.
sarcastic, but there is a little bit of truth.
I go
in
around and ask people for life advice, and then I give them a Polaroid of themselves.
In every joke, there's a little bit of truth.
Cool, cool. Oh, yeah.
And
do you
I'm
have,
going to have to press
seconds
homie
do that
about
with
this
you?
when we do our
Here
interview.
with Dana
That's-
White.
Oh, shit, my
What's
bad.
the best life advice you've ever received that you could share with someone like me or someone who's watching?
Hey, listen, if you're miserable when you're broke, you're gonna be really miserable when you make some money. The key to life is be happy. Be happy. Figure out what you like to do. Get up and do it every day and be as happy as you can possibly be. Some of the happiest times of my life was when I was broke. Money changes everything, I think. Not always. Not always. If you're happy when you're broke, you should be happy when you have some money.
Thank you for being humble and giving me the time of your day.
It's a pleasure, sir. Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
You know, between these two clips, speaking about this one, and then speaking about that clip I showed you guys earlier of Floyd saying, you know, champions never complain. Let me play that one Floyd clip one more time, along with that Dana clip, right? Because I do want to say something about it. This ain't no news stuff. This is just about some motivation that I got from it. But what does Floyd say again? He says, hold on, let me get the sound going.
Never get tired, never complain.
Never get tired, never complain.
Don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing, just keep working.
Keep working. Champion don't cry.
Champions don't cry.
Champions just work.
Champions just work.
Oh, get back. Right there.
So, what I would say, you know, between what Floyd said, between what Dana said here, I'm gonna make an effort. I'm gonna make an effort to be more positive. I'm gonna make an effort to be more positive based off what Dana, based off what Floyd said in that video. I'm gonna make an effort to be more positive, starting after I vent about Joaquin. Starting after I vent about Joaquin. All right. Miata Boy says, Jacob, can you go through UFC 327? Let's get your reaction. That card is stacked. Okay, we'll look at UFC 327. Let me vent about Joaquin real quick, though. Okay. And it's like, I already posted this in the Discord, and actually nobody responded to it in the Discord. So that's fine. But, it's like, bro. How much I got to do for Joaquin for me to get the priority over fucking Mike Perry? I thought I had the priority over Mike Perry. Now it's crazy because, you know, we're supposed to do the interview last week. I guess he had to run it with Mike Perry. Okay, I guess it's fine. But what's crazy to me is, okay, Mike Perry, you know, he gets put above me, so to speak, for some bullshit that actually doesn't make sense. But let's go ahead and say that, like, it's because Mike Perry, he's more famous than me, so to speak. So is that a shoe-in that he's going to get you more numbers? I mean, I don't know, because what you guys are talking about in the thumbnail is the fucking beef that I created. It's the beef that I created. And like I said, I'm going to stop complaining after I complain about this, okay? I'm going to stop popping the shit as much after I say this, but I got to say it, bro. I got to say it. You go on Mike Perry's platform, so to speak. I know that they're co-hosts and they're like, you know, I know Mike Perry pays Joaquin to be his host, right? But shit, bro. If you guys think I do nothing for Joaquin, then come on now. But here's what I got to say. He goes on Mike Perry. And then they use my topic to get the views. He goes on Mike Perry, and these motherfuckers use my topic to get the views. I'm Joaquin Buckley. You're talking shit. Let's fight the gym. I gotta say it one more time. You go with Mike Perry first, but then you guys use my topic to get the views. So who really gets the views? Because I'm tired of this shit where it's like, I'm honestly sick of this. Mike Perry got 300K followers on Instagram. He's the former UFC fighter. So by default, he gets the social media game more than me. Fuck no, he doesn't. He also ran an interview with Georgio Poullas. And guess who ran more numbers on the shorts from that interviews? I clipped up my interview. They clipped up their interview. I went more viral. You don't believe me? Do we got to do this again? We got to do this again. We got to walk him all the way down again. And people asking me, if you're new to the channel and you're saying, what do you mean he stole your topic? This topic right here that I fucking created out of thin air. Because I actually get it. And actually it works against these guys. To cope and say Mike Perry, he a former UFC fighter, he got more followers on Instagram, I'm going to get more views here. Flaw. In fact, these guys are getting views just because they are not actually forced to dig deep down and find out what's going to get the numbers, what's going to actually, you know, make you go viral. I got to make sure I go viral because I don't got the cosign of being a former UFC fighter. I don't got the 300K followers on Instagram. Okay, I got the little 50K, the little 58K. All right? But it's just like, it actually, for anybody who thinks that because you go and speak to a UFC fighter, you're going to get more views by default, it's bullshit. And I've done it. I've outviewed Mike Perry. I've outviewed fucking with two different people. I've outviewed Mike Perry's platform with Joaquin and with Georgio. So forgive me for having to pop my shit like this. Forgive me. But honestly, it gets to a point, bro. I'm getting overlooked because on paper they think, you know, Mike Perry gonna do more. Really. Let's let the numbers do the talking, right? Men lie, women lie, children lie. But guess what? Don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Only sometimes numbers lie. Okay, and that's another conversation for another day. But let's take a look here, right? Even Homa Fight. Let's go Homa Fight. Okay, 700,000 followers is Homa Fight. 700K. I told you, I got the little 50K. I got the little 58K. Okay. Homa Fight got 700 followers. Okay. 5,485 likes on this post. All right. Now, what do we do on this one? 8,350 with my 58,000 followers. Have I proved it to you yet? Have I proved it to you yet? This reel does over 300K views. We both got the collab from Georgio. So it's not about Georgio collab. It's about who got the content, who's actually going to get engagement, interaction, reshares, comments. Okay, how many comments does it have? 854 motherfucking comments. All right. How much did Homa Fight get? 87? 87? 87 comments, 5,000 likes. I got 8,000 likes, 854 comments. I got 100 comments for every 1,000 likes I get, motherfucker. And not only that, but how many clips do I pull? I do another clip, 234 comments, 3,886 fucking likes. I do another one, 1,400 likes, 160 comments. I outdid Homa Fight on comments on every single post. 234 comments, 160, 854. Homa Fight can only get 87 comments. Shit, don't let the likes fool you, boys. Don't let the likes fool you. Okay? I get more likes and I put in more work. I get more likes and I put in more work. Get that through your motherfucking head. I get more likes and I put in more work. I got less followers. I get more likes and I put in more work. Everybody chasing the shit. If you're chasing views, this is the place to come right here. You chase views, you want to come here. You chase views, you want to come here. All right, now let's take a look at this one. This is the Overdogs, right? Joaquin even. So you got Overdogs, you got Mike Perry, you got Joaquin collabing. I mean, combined with Mike Perry and Joaquin, you're touching over 500,000 followers. Combined with Mike Perry and Joaquin, you're touching over 500,000. Then you combine that with Georgio, you're close to 1 million. Georgio got 394K. Okay, 1 million, nearly 1 million followers saw this post. Nearly 1 million followers saw this post, only 3,000 likes. But me and my 58K ass gets 8,000 likes. How many comments does this get? 73? This is what I'm saying. These dudes, and I'm not trying, this isn't a shade on Joaquin. This is a shade on all the other platforms that get a lot of likes because they got a lot of followers, but they don't actually know how to create content that's going to go viral. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. These guys, they get the likes and they get it twisted. They don't actually have to innovate. I had to innovate. I'm from the ground up. I had to innovate. You know, I didn't get a knockout on the UFC, and then all of a sudden I get 1,000 likes per post by default. Okay, I had to innovate. I had to actually find a way to break into this shit. So just know, I outperform Overdogs with Mike Perry, with Joaquin Buckley, with my Georgio interview. I outperformed Homa Fight. I outperformed Overdogs with Mike Perry and fucking Joaquin Buckley. Okay, I outperform everybody. Everybody. You want to, okay, how about the Casual MMA Pod? Casual MMA Pod, 2,700 likes, 116 comments. Okay. Red Corner, 6,000 likes, 119 comments. 4,600 likes, 159 comments. So who's the big daddy? Who's the big daddy? Let's just make it simple. Out of all these posts, out of all these collabs, who had the most likes? Who had the most comments? Who had the most views? With my little 58K ass. All right? One more time. Just because these guys got more followers, that's less of a reason to go on that bitch. Because they're not innovative. They're going to ask you some bullshit and they're still going to get 1,000 likes on it. No offense. No offense. But talking about Bo Nickel dodging Yoel Romero for Georgio's fight, I wouldn't even ask a question like that. Because I got to get the views. I know that would get me like 50 fucking likes if I asked a question like that. But because, you know, you get 1 million fucking followers combined through a collab with Joaquin, Mike Perry, and Georgio, they're going to get 3K likes on it. But it's not something anybody wants to hear or listen to. So get that through your heads. Get that through your heads right now. All right? There's one king of this shit. There's one king of this shit, and you're looking at him. You're looking at him. You're sitting in the stream right now. All right? So, shit. Shit. Have I rested my case? I need to know. Did I rest my case, or like, do I still need to explain? And then, you know, just to finish it how I started, but then this is what I'm talking about. Because I actually get the viral shit, and I'm going to keep doing it. We're going to keep doing it. That's all we know how to do. Okay? But because I get the viral shit, Mike Perry gets the first interview with Joaquin after his fight gets announced, and then they're going to use my topic. They're going to use my topic in the thumbnail. I know I don't own these topics. Don't get it twisted. But just understand whose topics they're using. What storylines are originating from where. You feel me? And best believe the Sean Strickland exposed storyline comes from my fucking platform. That got overlooked last week by Joaquin. I'm going to have to press him for this. I'm going to have to press him for this. I'm going to have to. I'm left with no other choice. I'm left with no other choice. I need to know. Have I rested my case? You know what I mean? Have I rested my case? It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. Media slot questions are boring. I like personal interviews that ask different questions. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This shit low-key, I'm not going to say I'm mad at Joaquin. I'm not mad at Joaquin. I understand the game. But the dynamic pisses me off. The dynamic of not recognizing who actually talks about the fun shit pisses me off. And just doing a simple like, oh, he got this many followers. Okay, let's go on here. It's like, okay. All right. And this is probably the last thing I'll say. Why does this irritate me? Why does this irritate me? Because honestly, bro, you could give me and Mike Perry the same exclusive, and I'm going to get you more views. So it's like now Mike Perry got the exclusive. I got to get the fucking scraps from Joaquin. And it's just like, dude. It's like, I want the motherfucking exclusive, bro. I want that motherfucking exclusive. I've earned it. I've worked for that shit. Let the numbers do the talking. Let the numbers do the talking. That absolutely had to be said, though. That absolutely had to be said. And now, I probably will refrain from popping my shit as much as I usually do because of, Dana White, Floyd Mayweather motivating me today. But I had to get that one off my chest. I absolutely had to get that one off my chest. Spinning Back Fist is saying Daniel Zellhuber minus 430 favorite against Trey Ogden, minus 900 favorite against Michael Johnson, minus 410 favorite against Bobby Green. A run we may never see again. I mean, Zellhuber sucks. He absolutely sucks. I don't even know why he's in the fucking UFC. He's just young and tall. That's all he's got. Bobby Green speaks on the Nate Diaz quote-unquote call-out after the fight. It was no call-out. He was showing love, but I mean, they did ask him who his call-out is, and then he name drops Nate Diaz. So if anybody needed this cleared up or needed context, here it is.
You called out Nate Diaz out there. Why do you think that's the best?
No. Nate Diaz is my boy. I said bring him back. That's like a cousin to me.
Oh, okay.
Nate, when I was a young kid, Nate let me come live with him. He taught me, we trained together. He showed me so much about the UFC. So I have to bring my boy back and say, bring him back and put him in here.
Okay, so you didn't call him out. Is there anyone you would? Was there anyone you would like to call out then?
I really don't call people out, but if I was gonna call somebody out, I would say, what's his name? Michael Chandler in the White House. Two great Americans, American badass kicking, let's do some shit like that.
You called out Nate Diaz out there. Why do you think?
So, Nate Diaz is all good. Bobby not trying to fight Nate. But honestly, and this was a weird one for me because I don't like to point out, if somebody got a flaw or something, I'm actually really not trying to point it out. You know, I don't think anybody likes to have their flaws pointed out. So I'm kind of sensitive to that. I think we all are self-conscious about something in life, right? And you would not like it if somebody pointed that out for you. So I actually have noticed this for a long time. I just haven't really mentioned it because I didn't want to be rude. But you know, UFC roster watch. Jew says I want Bobby Green versus Michael Johnson. Honestly, Jew, shit, take my money, homie. Yeah, let's run that. And Jew says UFC needed to stop pushing Zellhuber 3 fights ago. Jew, I know you weren't in the chat last night, but last night I was going off on Zellhuber. I'm like, bro, what is he even good at? Like, what's he even good at? He's not good at striking. He's not good at grappling. Like, why are you here? What was the reason? I would love to know. But trying to stay on topic here. Chito Vera, UFC roster watch, you know, not to say they're the most credible, but let me read this out to you because I was like, damn, you know, I think this is a sincere post. I don't know if it's a detached retina, but I believe Chito Vera has a serious eye issue that no one has mentioned. That's what I agree with. Possible detached retina. He is unable to track with both eyes at the same time at the weigh-ins. Did anyone else notice this? Now, I don't know if it's a detached retina, but what I noticed is this eye right here, there's a little bit of a growth inside on the white that may be overtaking the eyeball itself, like the actual pupil. So I don't know. I hope Cheeto's okay, and if he is dealing with a serious eye injury like glaucoma or something, you know, hopefully he can get it fixed. I would hate to see him, you know, without his eyesight in the future. So, but I have seen this on a lot of Cheeto interviews. You will notice that his pupil, this pupil in this eye is a little bit, you know, there's something going on inside. And I don't like to talk about it. You know, everybody has their own issues. But I'm just saying, out of like kindness, out of concern, he might have something going on, and hopefully he's okay, you know. But yeah, it's his left eye. Okay, so I'm actually going to watch this podcast. I haven't seen the podcast yet, but I bookmarked it for my own self, but I figure I'll just share it with you guys too since it's on the bookmarks. Brian Johnson, the guy who wants to live forever. It's like a bit of a goofy goal, but that's all right. That's totally fine. He can have whatever goal he wants. With that being said, he's done a lot of research. So and he uses his own body for the research. So I can respect that, you know. Shit, you the guinea pig, not me. I mean, all right, I'll listen to what you got to say. But he says to get the best sleep possible, read a book for 10 minutes before bed. I mean, honestly, anytime I try to read a book before bed, I always fall asleep. So that makes a lot of sense. It's as powerful as sleep medication. On some metrics, it's even more powerful than sleep meds. Have a final meal of the day 4 hours before bed. Now, if you're on a diet, good luck with that shit. If you're on a diet, you're good. But if you eat like shit all day long, then yeah, 4 hours is solid. But have your final meal of the day 4 hours before bed. It gives your body time to digest. And when your body has that distance, it will lower its body temp. Your blood glucose will be down. Melatonin is produced, and it gets the body in a more relaxed state. You need like a hour wind down routine. If your bedtime is 10 p.m., when 9 p.m. comes, turn off all the screens and spend that hour doing things that relax you. Read a book, breath work, meditation, hang out with a friend, anything but be on your screen. Honestly, from whenever I'm like trying to go to bed, I'm just on that screen, just doom scrolling. I don't know about you guys, but I literally doom scroll the fuck until I fall asleep. Like I literally, every night before I go to bed, I'm like this. And then I wake up and I got my phone in my hand and I'm like, all right, it's time to go to bed. Like that's me every night. So honestly, I think I get great sleep, but, and I don't, you know, eat my last meal 4 hours before bed, and I don't turn off all the screens, but, I do smoke a little bit of Kush, which definitely relaxes me. There's a couple more. This one was interesting though. Brian Johnson explains how a lack of sleep can increase the risk of cancer. When you get 4 hours of sleep per night or less for a few days, your NK cells, which are cells that survey your body for cancer, go down in activity by roughly 70%. So a way to increase the risk of cancer is low sleep. You can increase the risk of cancer when your body is in poor health. When you are older and when your immune system is not as strong, you have a higher chance of getting it. So if you get older, definitely sleep more. You know, it's the regulating of those, you know, the cells essentially. Soft ass white bully, get out the neck brace, the little N-word. I just posted this because it's so funny as hell. Soft white ass little bully. Again, Dovey mentioning what I said, so I can unblock this, or I can unbookmark this. And then Ryan calling out Devin for the rematch. You know, I guess he went live and he called out Dev. Ryan went live and called out Dev.
Devin Haney,
Nah, don't
I've
say that.
declared war onto you. My first declaration of that war was yesterday. I've declared it. It's time. If you
That's
want
mine?
that work, you will get it.
No.
I will beat you worse this time, and you will feel something you've never felt before,
I'll get
even
on the
from
green,
last time.
Pa.
You will never box again, ever in your life. I promise
No,
you
wait,
that.
Pa.
Devin Haney, suck a dick.
All right, it's just talk for now. It's just talk. I see you guys saying that's advice that was like 10 years old. No, there's one better one. Maybe I didn't bookmark it. I'll just tell you, Brian Johnson said that you get more microplastics from drinking out of plastic or glass bottles than you do plastic bottles, because the microplastics don't come from the bottle itself. It comes from the fucking cap. And there's paint on the caps that chips into the water when you're talking about glass bottles, more so than the plastic bottles. So food for thought. You know, if you thought, oh, I'm buying glass bottles, I'm getting less microplastics. According to Brian Johnson, he's done a study, and the plastic bottles contain less microplastics than glass bottles. I don't have it bookmarked, but that's it. Oh, and I had to read this one. Another fighter cut down in their prime by training with Eric Nixick. While Green was raining down the finishing blows, all Zellhuber could think was, quote, I suffered 12 weeks of Sean Strickland making Mexican jokes in the gym for nothing. Honestly, yeah, I mean, look what happened to Dan Ige. Look what happened to Dan Ige. Honestly, if you care about yourself as a fighter, keep them far away from Eric Nixick. Stay far away from Eric Nixick. Rolly says, Ryan is the biggest coward in boxing. Ducked our rematch clause when we had the entire deal, purses, venue, splits done. He gets scared and decides to fight a complete weight drain Barrios. He only wants to fight pillow-fisted bums. Yeah, a lot of shit talking. A lot of shit talking. Apparently, Dana got asked about his altercation with his wife during a CBS Sunday episode. I feel like I'm going to get copyrighted for this, though, so I'm not going to play it. Oh, here's the Brian Johnson clip about getting microplastics in your water.
Glass water bottles have more microplastics than plastic water bottles. So this is the thing where when you look at the data, that's hilarious. Funny is that the microplastics don't come from the glass, they come from the lid. And it's the paint that goes in the lid and then it chips off. And so that's why it's very counterintuitive. You think plastic water bottle made of plastic, a glass water bottle made of glass. The glass has more microplastics than the plastic water bottle. So this is why testing is always the best thing to do on all things. It's very dangerous to have assumptions that.
So how do you drink your water?
In-house, I have a reverse osmosis water system.
And then when you go, like if you leave the house, what do you put it in?
Yeah, we take certain like we pack water with this if it's like a day trip. If we go somewhere, then we just deal with what we can find. Like if a place we're going to has a reverse osmosis, great. If they don't, we just do our best. Water.
Glass bottles have metal caps most of the time. Is he drunk again? Who the fuck is this? Who cares? Okay, and then I think we'll end it on this one. Miata Boy asking for UFC 327 breakdown. I think, or 326, I guess. Yeah, 327, homie. Homie, you got to tune into the streams, Miata Boy. We're not going back like that. You should have been in here when the fights got announced, homie. You want me to go back to revisionist history? We already looked at 327 when the fights got announced. You were not in here, so we won't be going over 327. We'll go over it, as the date gets closer. But we'll look at UFC 326. You want to direct the show, you got to be in here more often, homie. That's all I got to say. You know? Coming in here once a week, requesting topics. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. 326. I was actually going to say too, I'd rather do more of a breakdown on 326 later on, like tomorrow, Monday, but we can look at it now. Luke Fernandez, Rodolfo Bellato, who cares? Gaston Bolanos. So he's back? Or he never left or what? I guess he never left. Gaston Bolanos versus Jiang Yong Lee. I got Jiang Yong Lee. He a favorite too. DR versus Rafael Tobias. I'm not going to act like I know who these guys are. Sumu Derji versus Jesus Aguilar. Sumu Derji knows how to sell a fight, so I'm going to go with Jesus Aguilar. Meaning Sue could be winning a fight and he'll sell it and lose. Cody Durden versus Tubinelli. I think I've seen this guy fight before. I'm going to rock with him. He a favorite. Ricky Tercios versus Alberto Montez. I mean, what the fuck's going on, bro? Alberto Montez? I see everybody in the chat. Jacob, be honest, is Benny going to get slimed out at 327? Yeah. Yep. We're writing his obituary as we speak, Miata boy. We're writing that obituary as we speak. Alberto Montez, Ricky Tercios. What the fuck, dude? Like, what the fuck? Cody Brundage, Dante Johnson. I mean, I thought the Cody Brundage experiment was over with. Dante Johnson, okay. Cody Garbrandt, Long Xiao. Guys, I'm getting lost here. Long Xiao. DR Nurgazai. Like, who the fuck are these people? Luke Fernandez. This guy making his debut. All right, let's see what he could do. Gregory versus Bruno. Michael Johnson versus Drew Dober. Raul Rosas versus Rob Font. Kyle versus Rainier DeRitter. Okay, now we talking. Holloway versus Oliveira. Damn, bro. What a shit card, bro. This is a really bad card. No women. No women, but I mean the first 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Honestly, the first, or no, that's the first 6. I was counting each fight, 2 fighters per bout. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the first 6 fights, I don't even give a fuck about. Great show, homie. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I see Perfecto saying great content as always, my guy. Thank you, Perfecto. Thank you to everybody who always be watching, who always be tuning into the streams. Thank you very much for your loyal viewership. Bong rip time. Actually, I'm actually gonna go hit the gym right now. So the stream's pretty much over with. Lord of the Pie says this is like a good fight night card, not a numbered event. I know, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I got Joaquin coming on the live stream for UFC 326, and this is what we're gonna have. Luckily, my King Charles will be there to slime at Max. Fucking Miata boy. We got Max, or I got Max. We got Charles, meaning we're gonna take out Charles. But yeah, the stream's over. I'm actually gonna go hit the gym and stuff. And whoever said bong rip time, I gotta go to the clinic to go pick up some kush. You feel me? I gotta go to the clinic, pick up a little bit of kush. They close at 9:50 p.m. It's 9:10 over here right now. So I'm gonna go head over there. Space Kid says, I know, homie. My bad. My bad. They depending on Max and Charles to do all the selling. Damn, motherfucking Andrew Nance. Much love, Andrew Nance. A sincere thank you, my brother. Shit, my brother. You dropping a $50 dono, you my brother, Andrew Nance. So thank you very much, homie. I already know you were gifting subs the other day, so all of your support, Andrew, it's greatly appreciated. The comments, it's all appreciated. All right, Andrew, I see it all. So thank you once again, homie. Thank you once again. As the stream ends, I get a little $50 dono. Perfect timing. But yeah, Juice says they depending on Max and Charles to do all the selling. I guess so. Unbroken saying lots of Asian fighters recently. Lord of the Pies asking, even though the pay-per-views are done, I feel like they're going to charge a pay-per-view for the White House event. What do you think? Bro, they better not. They better not. I don't think they will, Lord of the Pies. First thought, I don't think they will. Honestly, I don't think they will. That's crazy work if they do that, bro. And they should have warned us. They should have warned us if that was the case. Everyone thanking Andrew Nance. Yeah, everybody thank Andrew Nance. I ended the poll. Team Arman, Team Georgio. 70% of you said Team Arman. So it's a done deal. Team Arman. Okay, so that's going to be the stream. I got an interview early in the morning too. So I got to get off. I'm going to go hit the gym. And then I'm going to come back, get to bed and all that shit. So shout out to all you guys for watching. Once again, much appreciated. I will just say this. If you guys are looking for a bit more content, I actually dropped something really good today. You know, oh wait, shit. I don't want to do that. It's like, not really plug-in. I'm actually just kind of telling you guys something interesting kind of went down in my Jacoby Smith interview and I released a clip from it. And I think you guys might be interested to see. So I'll tease it. And then if you want to watch it, you can watch it, but I'll bring it to your attention. It's this right here. You know, Jacoby Smith explains gym drama that forced him to leave Fortis MMA. I made a couple thumbnails. I'm running a little A/B testing. So you might see a few different thumbnails, but one of them says, I think gym drama, something like that. But Jacoby Smith speaking for 20 minutes about why he relocated teams. Now he's with Ranger MMA, which is a team he actually created. Him and Kyle Crutchmer and Nick Piccinini, they formed Ranger MMA. They're still in Houston. So there were rumors that Ranger MMA is in Vegas. No, they're still in Houston or in Texas. But Jacoby left Fortis MMA to form his own gym with his boys, Nick and Kyle. And it's definitely worth looking at. This has been something in the making. So if you want to take a look at this, a solid clip, the full interview will be released, members only, probably tomorrow. And if you're not a member, you're going to have to deal with the clips for the next few days until I drop the full interview. But shit, members, shout out Andrew Nance. All right. All the members, they'll get access to this full interview probably by end of day tomorrow. But 20-minute clip with Jacoby Smith speaking about leaving Fortis MMA, some micromanaging, some shady business. So take a look. You know, take a look at that one if you want to. All right, peace out to everybody. Oh, Miata Boy says, I'm still pissed at Smith for those 3 extra punches when Buddy was stiff. We speak about that in the interview. That'll be a clip too. That clip will be coming out. Okay, so shout out to everybody. I'm gonna shout out the streets. Shout out to Miata Boy for coming back. Lord of the Pies, Unbroken, Otto, member Andrew Nance. Thanks again for the $50 dono. Space Kid, Space Kid, Jew. I think I saw True Silence in this bitch, so shout out to True Silence. Shout out to Perfecto, my man Perfecto. America first, even though you're a motherfucker, America first. But shout out to you, homie. Congrats on the win over the weekend with Loner. Benjamin Freeman. Shout out to you, homie, for dropping in. Brian Johnson looks awful. I want to see him run a mile. Shortest month of the year. Yeah, 28 days in this month. 28 days in this month. Chain Firing Mech Warrior, shout out. The Truth is Right, shout out. Dun Daughter, shout out. Chill Vibe, shout out. AD Kid, shout out. You were in here. I saw you. The Asian writing or something. I'm not sure what country that's from, but it's Asian for sure. Shout out to you, homie. Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The return of Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The Bloodhound Lil Jeff. Axe, shout out to you. Ricky LaFleur. Shout out, homie. Member Ricky LaFleur. My Burner YouTube account. Shout out to you, homie, for tapping in. My eyes are working slow right now. I'm scrolling slow. Oh, Hezo. Shout out to Hezo. We had a couple good moments in the chat with Hezo. Dave ex-wife or something like that. Shout out to you. Tyler Betts. Shout out to Tyler Betts. Frankie Cal. Oh, Juice Man. Shout out to the Juice Man too. Shout out to Juice Man as well. All right, boys. That's all I could see. So if I forgot you, my bad. But I'll get you on the next one. All right, peace out, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow. For those that don't know, we're on 90 days straight of streaming. 90-day streak started on Wednesday. So, I mean, we're like 5 days in or something like that. But we're live for the next 90 days every evening. 90 days straight of live streaming. Subscribe if you're not